Hello, my name is V Sin, and this is a snapshot of Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation HD. Now, normally I'm a PlayStation Vita channel, but I'm going to be using the PC version of HD, and I'm going to be using this to cover both HD and the original Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which I did play end to end. We're going to start off with options menus because options menus are easier to get to right now. So here's the main menu: story, options, redeem code, credits, exit. Story mode is story mode. That's where you start playing. Options, redeem code. There are various other codes, DLC, whatnot. That's where you redeem them. Credits is the credits screen. So options menu, you do have multiple languages here. English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, and that's it. Of a really random note, because this is set in New Orleans or Nouveau Orléans, I tried French for a bit. It was too cheesy. I think the French was actually cheesier than the English and French accent, which was kind of strange, but oh well. Subtitles, you have those same. You have a whole bunch extra options for subtitles, although it's mostly just extra Portuguese and extra Russian, Brazilian Portuguese specifically. Other than, oh yeah, there's Dutch here apparently. Interesting. And general options, subtitles are on. SFX and voice is default to 10. Music volume is set to 10. Brightness is 5. Blood is on. Nothing too special here. Again, it's good to have these options because it's a PC version. Yay. Let's see here. Controls. Controller type, you can toggle between keyboard and mouse and 360 controller. I don't believe there's support for any other controllers, although I could be horribly wrong. I play this on keyboard and mouse, so I'm going to be judging this based on keyboard and mouse in terms of a PC port, although I'll try to make guesses about how the console controls handle. Specifically console, because if as I go into this, I'm going to show you that they actually ported this game very directly, including all of the UI elements. Third-person camera, invert looks. That's good. Sensitivity options. Oops. And vibration for if you have a controller. I don't know if you'd actually want that. General. Where the hell was I here? Options. Very strange. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I found it, finally. Customize controls. You can also rebind everything as you go through this entire map. Like, there's just everything here. I'm not going to bother showing them all to you. Graphics. I'm recording this at 1280 by 720 because I don't exactly have SLI Titans, so yeah, just saying. It's actually a 650M. But I can actually manage to crank about 60 frames with this at 720p, so that's how I'm recording it. So these are my settings right now. I turned down anti-aliasing all the way down to 0 because I actually hate anti-aliasing for some reason. Shadow quality is normal because otherwise my frame rate tanks. VSync is off because otherwise my frame rate tanks again since it's just not powerful enough. Some really random thing I noted though is that the menus actually chug really hard if your monitor resolution is set to monitor refresh rate is set to 40 hertz. Now, why the hell do I have a 40 hertz monitor? Because apparently my computer defaults to 40 hertz. I have no idea why. But either way, a 40 hertz monitor randomly has an extremely laggy menu for no apparent reason. But as soon as I set it to 60 hertz, even when I play on 1080p, no menu lag. I have no idea what's going on there. Let's see here. Subs, controls, HUD. That's about it. So let's go into story mode. I've played through 4.5 hours of the story on the HD version, but like I said, I have in fact completed the full version of Liberation on Vita. So let's just get into this. There's Aveline. Yeah, I'm using the default costume. No real reason to not use the defaults, really. I mean, honestly, the non-default costumes are all just recolors, so. Also, I tried to use the Assassin's hood, but this is a bug that has existed in the Vita version, but essentially it is clumsy to equip the Assassin's hood or swap between this sailor hat and the Assassin's hood. I never really bothered to figure it out, but it is actually a bug that existed in the Vita version, and it carried over to HD. That's just, I mean, it doesn't break the game, but it's just disappointing that it's there. Also, yay, the game is still loading because recording a hard drive while reading from hard drive is kind of pain in the ass. So here you go. This is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation HD. If you've seen the original version of Assassin's Creed Liberation, yes, this looks quite a bit better, especially since I can turn most of the options up. So I'm just going to run around for a bit. Now, let's see. Where should I start? Let's start with the extreme basics. Assassin's Creed mechanics. Now, these are basically the same mechanics you've had since Assassin's Creed 1. You can run around, you can pull out your hidden blades and kill people. Yay. And then you can wait for this guy to fall over. Come on, there you go. And then you can loot his body. Nothing super special. You also have the various parkour puzzles, like this one, where you have to just get up this building, head to the top of that, and then there's a viewpoint. I'm just going to chat over it, though. Now, let's see here. Let's get into the port right away. Hold down R. Does this look familiar to anybody? Because this is the Vita menu. This is the PlayStation Vita menu. Now, this menu was designed for the PlayStation Vita by having those two half circles you see on both sides of the screen. It was designed that way so you could use your thumb, take it off the controls, and easily access the menu. Fairly easy to use on the Vita. However, on the PC, slightly clumsier. Now, yes, you can see here I am not having too much trouble selecting the weapon. So, for example, I'm selecting weapon hidden blade, and then you can see in the bottom right corner it changes it to hidden blade. Binding it to the center pad, yes, direct port again, it's the pad, slightly more cumbersome. You have to click, you have to essentially hover over and then click. You can see I can click. You have to hover over and click. However, something weird happens if you use WASD while doing this. See, I'm holding over here. I'm hovering. This is not me. You can see how it's just twitching like mad. This is one of the oversights. This is definitely one of the oversights. Because I'm not doing much. You can see that my cursor is just hovering over the wheel, but it keeps defaulting back to the sword. Why is that? Because as you can also see here, without moving my mouse, you can see I'm changing options. You can also control these options with the right pad. With the left stick or left pad. That's what it would be on a console. But you can only control this. If you want the other side, what it's controlled with is the arrow keys on the keyboard. So this is how it would work on the console. You use the left stick to control the left menu, and the right stick to control the right menu. But it's still cumbersome, even from a console standpoint, because, well, it's like you can't use both sides of the menu at the same time. You can see here, I think it's faster with a mouse, but even with a mouse, it doesn't feel right because you're like clicking on this, like it's not doing anything. No, it's not doing anything at all. You actually have to mouse over, then click the hard point. It's really weird. The hard points are bound as this one over here is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how the hard points are bound. Let me just rebind everything now. There we go. So, enough griping about the controls. It's a direct port. Thankfully, you don't have to wrestle with it too much, but otherwise, it's pretty nice. Let's see here. I'm going to show you how terrible my computer is in the process, but I'm just going to show you this viewpoint, which I have already synchronized. Doesn't matter too much. Was it here, or was it all the way there? There we go, synchronize. So this is one of the first few synchronization points. Now here's the weird thing. It looks like my frame rate is tanking, and I'm losing about 10 frames out of it. Well, let's see. Actually, I was recording at 30, and I lost about 10 frames out of it, so I'm not sure if you saw it. But this is, I mean, similar to every single PC version of Assassin's Creed. It tanks when you do the synchronize because it shows so many damn things. So, enough of that. Let's start stabbing people for a bit. Oops. Can I coax this guy over? Okay, never mind. I'm just going to stab him. Yay, high profile stab in the middle of this. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that's lame. Never mind. I'm just going to combo kill. Now, you also have the parry system, where if you press E at the right time, you can counter. Again, same thing as pretty much every Assassin's Creed, and also they're the big guys who you just can't counter at all, and you have to do a whole bunch of... Oh, crap. Okay. Now, this is what I normally do with these big guys. You notice that I'm just not doing anything every single time I counter them, because I actually take damage from trying to counter. It's really stupid. Oh well. I'm now gonna die. Okay, screw it. Let's just use... mark, unmark. Where the hell are you? There. Okay, just kill you this way. There you go, that's easier than having to deal with trying to... Oh, I didn't reload this. Awesome. Alright, I'll kill you. Counter you while doing absolutely nothing about it. Which is something that annoys me at the counter system, because if I counter him right now, I will actually desync and die. Or I'll just take it to the back and desync and die anyways. Go me! Yeah, it's just those big guys that make it really hard to do combat, because then all your counters disappear and all that good stuff. But I'd never claimed to be great at video games. So enough of the fighting. Let's get to more interesting stuff. Because, let's see here, where am I in the story? I have to go to Chichen Itza, I believe. Let's change locations. Let's see, where should I go? Chichen Itza or the bayou? Let's see. Also, the map, you can tell from the circle, it's designed for a console, so you drag the circle over your objective. Let's go over here. Set marker. Let's head over there. I'm gonna go to... I don't know. The bayou is big and empty and not much happens there. By contrast, Chichen Itza, like... I don't know. Chichen Itza looks shinier, but at the same time, there's like a lot less to do in Chichen Itza. Oh, wow. Deal with these guys. Let's see. I'll go to the bayou. Why not? I just run on over. Get up, guard. I'm not important. I don't want to bother fighting because it takes too long. I'm just running through the streets. I could be free running, but actually, here's one of the contrived platforms I can use to free run. So yeah, sure, why not? Let's see here. Head over that way. After you unlock both Chichen Itza and the bayou, then both of them have fast travel locations over by the docks and makes it a lot easier. There's the Assassin's headquarters, or at least what they call the Assassin's headquarters. It's really just a base of operations. You can change a whole bunch of settings. I'll go back there in a while. Actually, wait, no. The story section is in Chichen Itza, and it's probably going to screw with my ability to demonstrate without spoilers. Not that I particularly care about spoilers for this game, partly because it's pretty old by now, and it's not a particularly good story either. But I'll get to story gripes at the end of it, and I'm actually going to give you my verdict before I start ranting about how bad I think the story is. Okay. Keep running. Get swimming. On a random note, if you remember from the Vita version, if the lady fell into the water, the lady persona, you would in fact run into the issue where you wouldn't be able to get out of the water. The issue is still there. The lady doesn't, like roll into the water on her own by default, but at the same time, like, thankfully there are ramps, but you still have to swim around for half a mile but to finally get out of the water in New Orleans, so let's just go to the bayou, and I'll show off the bayou. Like I said before, Chichen Itza, not much of anything like, it's a pretty small place. It's very small. So, yay, loading times, because I'm trying to write to a crappy laptop hard drive while loading off a crappy hard drive. So, honestly though, loading times, and I'm not recording to the same hard drive I'm reading off of, aren't that bad, so don't worry too much about loading times. As long as your hard drive isn't terrible, it'll be fine. Oh, my notoriety is too high. Let's pay off a magistrate and then pickpocket him again. Yep, that mechanic is in here again, so I bribe the magistrate, just steal from him again and make money off paying him off. Good times. Let's see if there's a halfway decent objective running around here somewhere. Blah, blah, blah. Alligator nest. Sure, let's go over there. Alright. Now, the bayou, basically, New Orleans has a very standard Assassin's Creed side quest, you know, like, kill this person, stalk this person, catch this person, all that good stuff. The bayou has different side quests, although most of them really revolve around fetching stuff. Like the alligators, let's see, kind of got through that hole. Okay, yes. Let's see, the alligator nest is up there. Is there actually an alligator around here, or did I already kill the alligator? Let's see, which way is the ramp up? Oh, there's the alligator. Okay. You can see, killing an alligator is just a QTE. E, left mouse button. Ah, crap. Got thrown off the alligator. Let's try that again. E, space. E, left mouse button. And there we go. The alligator goes down. I get to loot its nest. This is just a QTE, although most of the side quests in the bayou really are just, you know, collectibles. All of them, really. Even the poison mushrooms and stuff, that is also just collectible. Where the hell was the viewpoint around here? Can't remember. I just want to show, I don't know. I'm just going to mention it and then head straight back to New Orleans. But essentially, the big difference in the bayou from HD and the original Vita version is draw distance. A massive draw distance difference. You can actually see everything if you're standing at a high point, whereas in the Vita version, it got clouded by a thick-ass fog. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Depends. Like, that's the crazy thing. Normally, you would say that, oh, a longer draw distance is a better thing. But in the case of HD versus Vita, I think it's actually a slightly bad thing, because the Vita version really depends on... Like, it helps the bayou feel more mysterious. I mean, here you can see there's a little bit of fog in the distance, whereas in the Vita version, it would go up to about that tree over there. Oh, that tree is actually the viewpoint. I just realized. I don't know, I'll start climbing up that thing. Like, it would go up to about this massive tree here. And, again, that was more a tech restriction, but still, it's more a case of, even though it's a tech restriction, does it actually help the mood of the story, for example? The mood of the piece. I think one of the most famous examples of using draw distance to the advantage of the game is Resident Evil 4, I think, where they used it for the mood and the horror and all that good stuff. Obviously, Assassin's Creed Liberation doesn't quite do it for horror reasons, but still. I'd know there's that. I'm just going to show you the big difference in draw distance for HD by using this viewpoint up here, because that's probably one of the important graphical differences. Honestly, like graphical fidelity, it's like, yay, bigger screen, smaller screen. I don't know, more power. Honestly, the shading isn't particularly different. It at least the basic, whoa, what the heck? The basic shading isn't particularly different. Most of the graphical differences lie in much better texture quality, much better draw distance, and stuff like that. There you go. This is the viewpoint. We'll synchronize this for you guys. And see how much more of the bayou you can see. Now, in certain viewpoints, you can see a lot more. This is a little bit closer to the view distance that you can see on the Vita, but this is actually still more than you can see on the Vita. Now, let's just hop out of here, head back to New Orleans, and I'm going to show you a bit of Slave and Lady, and then we'll wrap this up. At least I'll give a verdict first, and then I'm going to start ranting like crazy. I'll just swim back over here, head back to New Orleans. Because, okay, one of the things a lot of naysayers about both Liberation and the Assassin's Creed franchise in general is the combat system, you know? I mean, it's counter this, counter that, beat the crap out of this person. You saw I died there, but that was me misplaying it really hard. Either way, it's a case of, you know, jumping around, just killing. A lot of people say it's just killing people. I disagree because there are a lot of, at least the story missions, where you have to remain undetected. At the very least, you're forced to remain undetected. You can't kill everyone in your way or you fail the mission. It's just not allowed. Those, I think, are the missions that are really the game's strong suit. However, when it comes to just killing someone and getting out, like one of the introductory missions in this game, if you do it as a slave persona, it is literally walk up to everyone's face, stab them in sequence, get into a big fight, stab everybody there, and then you just run straight back out. Like, even the signature escape the area and become anonymous, you basically just walk out. Like, you just walk out. So here you go. Let's go back over here. We're going to change into the lady persona. I'm going to use the lady persona, and I'm not going to bother with the slave persona. If you want me to explain why, I'm going to do that in the post-verdict rant. Because I have a lot of things to rant about, and I'm just trying to be as neutral as possible right now before I really tear into this thing. Let me just give you a spoiler, shall I? I traded in Assassin's Creed Liberation immediately after I beat it. That's basically my viewpoint on it. So here's the lady persona. I do have the parasol, so that's nice. At least in the Vita, there's an achievement where you had to kill 5 people up on the roof without getting spotted. I haven't bothered trying to do that yet. So your mobility drops. You can charm certain people, like this guy with really flashy clothes. Like, hey, you charm them. And if you run really fast, like, you can charm and like run backwards, which is just one of those really dumb things I do sometimes. Like, I don't know. It's nice that they have the animation there, but still. And then there's this guy. It's like, I want to stab you in the back. And don't worry. The guy I charmed is like, hey, don't worry, madame, I'll protect you. Like, what? Really? I'm just killing guards at random, and you want to protect me? And then your charm wore off, and you're just standing there like, I don't care. Like, hey, sex me up again, right? Hey, you gonna sex me up again? And then now he's charmed again for some reason. Like, the charm mechanic, like, technically it would have been good, but it just feels so clumsily executed. Seriously. It's like, what? like, I appreciate that they wanted to do the charm mechanic, but it just, there's so many things that break it, and even several things that break the lady persona that it's just, Also, I'm just gonna kill that witness over there, if you don't mind. There you go. I killed the witness at range with a parasol. Hello, gentlemen. Don't mind me. And then these guys just walk off while this guy writhes on the ground. This guy's supposed to be a witness. And then I loot him, and the guy behind me is like, hey, I'm still in love with her. I don't care that she's doing criminal acts in front of my face. Even, I don't know, despite saying all that, I find that the lady persona is probably the best persona. Because the slave persona is just a crappy assassin persona that you have a different bush to hide in. And that's about it. Like, there isn't much of anything special. As you can see, these guys are twins, and this guy's like, oh no, she doesn't love me anymore, and then he runs off like a scaredy cat or some crap. Like, I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't know. Even then, let me get down to the story, and I will cover this in a rant later on, but the story is average. Like, I don't know. There are just a lot of things that aren't quite great about the story. My biggest gripe, though, has to be the pacing. Above all else, the problem is the pacing. Aveline is a really nice character, a really well-done character. But the way that she is conveyed through the story and the depth of all the other characters, I find extremely lacking. And it's to the point where I honestly think that the weak story doesn't just detract from its weak story. Inherent weakness, but still. But the weak story also detracts from the gameplay. It just kind of breaks the gameplay in the process, which is really irritating. In terms of the lady persona, though, you saw me charming, you saw me bribing. It's a lot of various different mechanics that you can do with the lady Hey, what the hell? Dude, these guys just kind of attacked me. Okay, not fun. Oh well, just counter the crap out of these guys. Clam the duck down, counter them. Counter you, combo kill you. Don't mind me, I'm just a lady. Alright, let's get the notoriety back down. Or I could become notorious for no apparent reason. Let's get the notoriety down. It's a little bit annoying to run around with notoriety. See here, so this guy, come on. Like, don't mind me, bodyguards, don't mind me. I just killed your boss, and everyone else around me doesn't seem to care that I killed the boss. But that's okay. Oh, great, now I have to kill these guys, too. Oh, well. I don't know. I mean, the thing about the lady persona is that the hidden blades, like, I even use them on the assassin all the time. It just, there is no real drop in combat ability from the lady persona. The primary difference is mobility. Now, you can't parkour, and you can't, like, just directly run away from people because you have a slightly slower run speed. I actually find that important, though, because it does change the way you play the game. Like, for example, you can't jump over walls in order to escape people. You actually have to blend in, or, like, at least if you don't feel like just killing them all off, you actually have to blend in and stuff, so. I'll just kill this gentleman over here. I had to reload my parasol. You can see in the bottom right corner, that little bar is slowly ticking up. I don't know, these guys are a lot easier to kill with a parasol, because then you don't have to bother with getting notoriety. Either way, like, pew. And I am no longer notorious. And just walk away like a lady. Yay! Honestly, yeah, I get most of my jollies out of the lady persona just because of role-playing mostly. So I'm going to come to a verdict on this, and I will back up my argument about the story in a second about a rant. But overall, Liberation for Vita at the original $40, I would have said no, wait for a price drop, which has happened. And now on the PSN, you can get it for about $27. At some retail stores, you may or may not be able to get it in a bargain bin or used for lower prices. Usually, though, it still hovers above $20. And Liberation HD, it costs $20. So, yeah. That's the thing. In terms of interface, there is the interface difference. Just a difference where you have the slightly awkward transition to and from the Vita controls, but it still ports over well enough, and you don't have to use it so darn often that it becomes a inhibiting factor, basically. So there's that. But otherwise, I'm going to say that the story isn't good. It's just not good, and it gets in the way of gameplay. Like, it's actually that bad. It gets in the way of the gameplay, at least in my opinion. In terms of mechanics, the mechanics are all very standard. New Orleans is an interesting city, but it is not as good as, say, other parts. Oh, hey, it's Citizen E. I'm going to quickly wrap it up, and I'm going to do Citizen E as a part of the post. Oh, TLDR, would I recommend this game? I'm supposed to be a Vita channel. I'm supposed to be promoting the Vita game. But it's not really, like, in terms of HD versus Vita, unless you don't have an HD capable machine, you're better, like, unless you don't have an HD capable machine, you should get the HD version. Everything is the same. Oh, I almost forgot. They removed the decoding minigame, which was completely pointless. The whole pinch the Vita, hold up to a light source. They removed that in HD. It does mean that one story element sticks out. It's like, what the heck was the point of that? I'm not using it at all. But other than that, it was a pointless minigame that didn't have to exist. So, TLDR to the TLDR, if you absolutely must get this game, it's probably a better bet to either bargain bin Vita or get the HD. Don't bother with full price, even on the PSN. But even then, I still say, is this really worth your time? Like, the story is completed in about 7 hours. Like, there's minimal replay value. It's mostly Citizen E. And even then, I'm going to rant about this afterwards. But Citizen E, I think, is a terrible mechanic. So overall, like, it's cheaper. It might go on sale. If you think it's worth 20 bucks, then I guess now you could consider it, but before it was a no. Now, onwards. Let's get on to ranting. Because this is the one game where I feel I have to start ranting about this. First of all, let's try to find Citizen E. Oh, wait, that guy up there. That guy up there deserves to die because I have a parasol. And he's going to die for that. Oh, let's just... There you go. Reloaded. And now you die. Alright, let's find Citizen E. Please tell me he is not on a roof, because if he is on a roof, I'm going to be pissed. Oh, man, I really hope this guy's not on a rooftop. He's totally going to be on a rooftop, isn't he? I'm going to run around as a lady persona, accomplishing absolutely nothing. Oh, boy. I don't think I'm going to accomplish anything as this.
Do not trust them.
Yeah, well. Overall, though, I'm going to gripe specifically about the Citizen E mechanic first. Now, the Citizen E mechanic is... Basically, Abstergo has censored the story. You only get to do... They are trying to hide the truth, and you only get to do a part of the story. And afterwards, you find Citizen E, you hunt him down, he unlocks the rest of the story. The problem I have with that mechanic, though, is that, well, it doesn't really accomplish anything. Like, it's supposed to be, oh, so interesting, right? But the problem with the mechanic is that it just ends up taking the interesting part out of the story. The game clearly conveys that Citizen E is going to step in. So you're just sitting there, you're not thinking, oh, what did they censor out? It's just... Why did you remove that? That was the interesting part of the story. And a lot of it is. Like, a lot of it, for example, is little bits and pieces of the story that just don't matter at all. Or at least, by the time you figure out Citizen E, figure out where the Citizen E is to the missing part of the story, I've long since forgotten what the context of it was. I'm gonna demonstrate that by hunting down this Citizen E. So first I'm going to get this dressing room unlocked. Swap out a lady persona. Let's use Assassin. Because Assassin, I don't know, you just have more weapons, more options. It's more fun that way. It's another one of the gripes I was going to get to, but the slave persona is just a crappy Assassin. Like, again, you just change bushes, really. That's honestly as much as I have to explain it. Let's head back over this way. Let's find Erudito and kill him. And then I'll show you one of the cutscenes. Hopefully there is no claim on it, but...
Tell me you do not believe them.
Let's see here. Citizen E's got to be dicking around here somewhere.
Show you the unedited version.
Like, maybe I missed him completely. He's actually... Oh, there he is. God damn it, he was over there the entire time. Okay. But he's actually just a person running around. Damn it. Get over here, you schmuck. There we go. Now here's a cutscene. You get this little flashy thing. And I'm going to shut up and show you the cutscene. After it loads.
A small gesture. Hardly enough. I can offer them a wage, but what good is money without freedom?
One day, it will come. Or you will make it. I know it.
And in the meantime, what? I should congratulate myself while every day they face abuse, or worse. The Templars will never allow slaves to be free. They keep even the rich in bondage. Though most people would never suspect. Gerald, if my father hadn't freed my mother, I'd be in the same predicament.
But he did.
I still owe them better.
Now, you might be wondering, wait, but like, if you've never played the game, you're probably thinking, but I don't know what this is about. Exactly. That's the problem with the Citizen E mechanic, because that was several sequences before I found Citizen E. Now, that was a cutscene, like, I believe, after you get back from Chichen Itza for the first time, and I've already gone through like 2 more sequences. Yeah, like, the other thing is that the Citizen E chunk is taken out of the existing cutscene, and then it's just given to you as a straight Citizen E chunk without the beginning or end of the cutscene, or even you remembering what the hell was going on. That is the problem with Citizen E. Like, not just that it takes out an interesting part of the story that fleshes out the characters, it also then gives it back to you out of context. And it ends up just accomplishing nothing. It just ends up confusing you. Like, what, do I have to replay the game again now for no good reason, just so I can remember what the hell this was about? Like, here, I'm going to open the options database. Like, where do I find it? Statistics? Social stealth economy overall? No. People? It tells me who the people are. You can see there, it's like blah, 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 talk, talk, talk. You have all those details, but you can see here, like, locations? Nope. People, stats, user manual? What the heck's the user manual gonna do? Leaderboards? Like, I can't even re-access the cutscenes. That is a problem that existed in the Vita version, and it is a problem that still exists in HD. Like, I basically have to look up on YouTube somebody who has to take the ends of the cutscene and the middle erudito segment, stitch them together, and post them, theoretically speaking, illegally on the internet, just so I get the full version. Even erudito doesn't give you the whole damn thing. Now, second gripe about the story. The second gripe about the story is just how disjointed the flow of time is. Like, when it says 2-year time skip, it doesn't even say 2-year time skip. It gives you a date, and you're supposed to remember, oh, it's been 2 years. But you have to, like, really pay attention to the dates and say, okay, the last time they showed me a date, it was 1769. Now it says 1771, so 2 years have passed. At most, it says in passing in the loading screen, 2 years have passed. And I was like, wait, 2 years have passed? Really? Even the very opening segment where Aveline goes into a plantation and rescues someone. You go in there, you sneak past the guards, you rescue her, open the door, and suddenly you're back home. What? Like, literally, one loading screen later, you are instantly back home. The flow of time in this game and the pacing is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. The mechanics of the encounters themselves aren't actually bad, but the way that they're conveyed, I find that it ends up breaking otherwise decent mechanics. Like, these are the Assassin's Creed mechanics that you would expect from any other Assassin's Creed game, but you still have the issue where the story is so poorly conveyed, both due to its own pacing and the erudito mechanic, that you end up having a terribly paced... the story just pisses me off on so many levels in Liberation. It's not a case of hardware limitations either, in my opinion. They could have done a much better job of conveying the passage of time, and they don't. And the erudito mechanic that was supposed to be the flagship mechanic that makes it oh so very special, it ends up just... No, it actually wrecked the game. It made it worse by quite a bit. So I don't know. Like, this is something... Like, originally my original argument was, historical relevance was a big part of why Assassin's Creed was so important. But as Assassin's Creed 4 eventually proved, no, it's not historical relevance. They just botched the story on Liberation. Plain and simple. That's about as simple as it gets. And I mean, okay, I'm just going to kill this random-ass dude who apparently I have to kill because I have to kill him. This guy over here. Just generic assassination mission. I'm supposed to kill the target with a lady persona. I don't care. I'm just going to kill him with fast poison darts. Which is, by the way, the way you're probably supposed to kill this guy, but... Oh, well. Like, this is one of the things you can do. I believe after this point, you also had to escape undetected. So let's see here. Make sure I lock onto this guy. And pew. And that's that. Oh, you have to loot the body. Oops, I forgot that. Like, don't mind me, I'm just looting this guy's body. Just stand there over there, ma'am. That may or may not be racist. Oh well, let's kill this. Kill you. Kill you. Let's do a chain kill mechanic. And that's that. Oh, and then more guards show up. Great. Well, I don't know. I mean, just the story gripes. I just have so many gripes about the story that makes me wonder, like I feel that they should have done something with HD and just improved the experience a little bit more. But no, instead they end up just leaving it all half-assed as before, and it ends up, like, I don't know. I just feel that they could have done something more with HD to make it a better game, but instead they direct ported the exact same damn game, and it ends up just being the same clusterfuck as before. It makes it hard to recommend in the first place. Okay, I can do this. Yay. Just snipe you. What the heck? Okay, I guess that's a bug. Very strange. I have to parry this guy without doing anything, or he'll just butcher me. Parry him without doing anything, kick him in the nuts, and then just hack the crap out of him with a hatchet. There we go. I'm not anonymous, but that doesn't really matter. Anyways, report this side mission. Oh, return to Mexico. Okay, never mind. I'm guessing I'm just gonna wrap it up. Like, the end TLDR is, I absolutely despise the story, but it's still conceptually and mechanically Assassin's Creed. It still does that right, but it just, I find the story sours it so damn badly that at the end of the day, like, okay, a year has passed now, but it's like, what, really? So I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think it's worth anybody's money unless you find it on a sale. Like, even HD at $20, I guess you can barely push. I guess you could barely push the ability to, you know, buy this, but otherwise, even then, I find these cutscene animations to be awkward a lot of the time, or at the very least in the first half of the game, the animations were really, really, really awkward. Whereas, I don't know, later on it looks better, and you can see, like, for example, the facial details, texture quality, all better in HD. But even then, yeah, I'm being so redundant right now. It's not. Okay, it's not a bad game, but it's badly executed. My name has been Vita. Thanks for watching. I'll leave you with the rest of this cutscene.
The missing shard of the disc.
As long as it is here, I will always feel their eyes on me. But if someone were to remove it, someone strong and resourceful,
I might know someone like that.
if you see her, please give her this map and let her know about the old canoe that remained in the cenote after our last expedition. Tell her to go quickly. Somehow they are watching. If she was to be discovered, we would both...
Fear not, Mama. You will know peace soon.